Welcome to Management Trainers webinar, Staying Union Free, Learn Your Rights and Obligations. Your speaker for today's program is Robert G. Brody, Esquire. Bob is the founding member of Brody and Associates, LLC, a labor and employment law firm which represents management. Bob has been in private practice for over 25 years. In addition to providing daily counsel to management on labor and employment issues, such as the new health care legislation, ADA, FMLA, workplace violence, and alternative dispute initiatives, Bob represents employers before federal, state, and local civil rights agencies and in court. Operator assistance is available during the webinar by pressing £0 if you have dialed in for audio. You can send questions at any time using the chat window located to the right of the presentation screen. If time permits, a question-and-answer session will follow the presentation. However, we encourage you to send your chat questions throughout the presentation. I will now turn the call over to our speaker. Bob, please begin.
Thank you, Virginia. Hello, everyone. I'm talking to you from the snowy and getting warmer East Coast. It's been an interesting couple of weeks. I hope you are all well. And for those of you on the East Coast, I hope the storm didn't hit you too hard. During today's program, we're going to talk for about an hour and a half. As you might imagine, this is a topic that we usually do webinars and seminars for a whole day. So there's an awful lot to it. But we're going to try to give you an overview of some of the basic issues you should be thinking about and make sure your company is aware of some of the basics. I would encourage you all to use the chat window, because that'll help me figure out how advanced you may be. In some cases, I may be talking about things that are way below you. You know that, and it's easy. We should move on. In other cases, I may be talking about things that you've never heard of. The chat window will help me figure that out. I will just tell you a little quip here of mine. The great presenter that I am, I made a brilliant presentation down south. I'm halfway through it, and finally a woman in the back meekly raises her hand, and she says, "You keep talking about the UAW. What's the UAW?" In case anyone doesn't know, that's the United Auto Workers. Never dawned on me that somebody might not know that, and I guess that's just a lesson for me. So please, as I say, no questions are stupid. Use that chat window. It'll help make sure that I'm making the program valuable to you. And also, if you do have more advanced questions because you're more familiar with the topic, it'll help me move it along. Okay, so let's get started. The agenda for the day. We're going to talk a little bit about some current events. There are a bunch of current events, starting with the election, and a bunch of others that we're going to talk to you about that are making this topic extremely relevant. We're going to talk about, does unionization matter? Now, obviously, you're on this program, so it matters to you. The reason we want to talk about this is there may be other people in your organization who are wondering why you're wasting your time. There may be employees in your organization wondering why you're wasting your time. We want to make sure that you have some ammunition so you can explain to all of them you're not wasting your time. This is really important for your company. Why employees choose unions, a key issue for you. Hopefully, as we go through some of these issues, you're going to be able to see, that's us. That applies to us. We need to be thinking about that. Now, assuming you're not very familiar with it, we're going to give you an overview of how unionization happens in your business. We're going to talk about how campaigns work, how a union actually would attack your company. What strategies would they use? We're then going to get to some of your rights and some of your limitations. This is something that's it's absolutely crucial that your employees and, more importantly, your supervisors understand, because you have a tremendous amount of power, tremendous number of rights to really talk about the issue of unions. And most people think union is a four-letter word and they can't use it at work, and they're dead wrong. Now we're going to talk about strategic issues after that. These are some issues that you can decide today especially if you don't have union organizing going on, you can make changes today that'll make a union attack tomorrow much less effective. But you got to do that before the union shows up. Preventive strategies, these are some specific things you can be doing immediately. And we're going to talk about some other challenging issues. If we have time, we will go through the preventive labor relations quiz. And that's where I'm going to make you guys all do some work. I'm going to ask you some questions and ask you whether you think these things are legal or illegal. It's a good way to kind of wrap up the program. If time